Welcome to Authentic with Brazil 201. And on today's episode, we're going to talk about the penultimate episode of the Pit, 7 p.m., or as I like to say, Mahjong, Margaritas, MAGA. We are, everyone is clocking out of their shifts, right? Donnie just left, and Robbie's saying, yo, can you stay? I need you just for, another hour. He's like, yo, I just got a new baby. I can't do that. And Robbie catches Javadi making a TikTok, and Robbie's like, "No phones on at work. It's HIPAA violations and all of this. You can't be talking about people's cases and things like that." And he's like, "You have to stop doing this." And honestly, I hate Javadi is my least favorite character of all the Pit people. I understand everyone's mad because Santos has been a super bitch this entire season, and McKay hasn't really done anything this season outside just giving a shock face, which is really weird since McKay had such a strong season one with the ankle monitor and the kid hiding and the ex-husband and all the other situations. And we have a whatever. But he flips out on Jafadi for making TikToks, and what happens is McKay ends up talking to Robbie saying, "Hey, she wasn't. You should really watch her TikTok. She's not, talking about the patient. She was trying to help get what's the fuck is his name? White boy who got arrested by the ICE agents, who's in processing what the fuck is Jesse, right? She's been trying to find, using the power of social media to help out Jesse in all this situation. Uh, our favorite MAGA nurse, not Mag, what is she? Like an administration person, Monica, tells Dana, I'm clocking out and I'm ready to do Mahjong and margaritas all day. Okay. And I've enjoyed like her reaction because she got really mad at Alashimi and this new chick who is from the Superman and Lois show speaking what were they speaking? Albanian or Farsi or something. And you could tell she's like really like, a kind of a MAGA chick who loves Fox News and whatever. And fine, whatever. And like I did enjoy her cursing out Javadi for Javadi being like annoyingly woke because Javadi's just for whatever reason turned into like peak woke cringy zoomer this season, and everyone's kind of had it here for that. Like you're in an ER, as Robbie said, doctor the fuck up. Which, by the way, great fucking line. I kind of want to make that my alarm on my iPhone now, because right now the alarm on my iPhone is the Sir Duncan, wake up, wake up, wake up thing from Night of the Seven Kingdoms. And I think just having Robbie yell "Doctor the fuck up" on a loop as an alarm would be a lot better. We've also let's go through everyone who has died this season in the 12-hour period. Louis died of alcohol poisoning or whatever the fuck happened to Louis. I will miss him. The we had the woman who what is it called? Roxy, who had lung cancer, who was in hospice care, she died. We had the husband of the Alzheimer's chick die, and the dude who died in surgery, which is why Evil Whitaker is having a mental breakdown. I believe his name was Austin Green. And while we're here, the cyber attack really amounted to nothing. It seemed like, oh, things were just going to shut off or whatever. The cyber attack part of the aspect, and look, this isn't Grey's Anatomy, where for reference, let's kind of go through everything that's happened in Grey's Anatomy in 20 years. 4 mass shootings, the drowning, the explosion from the rapist that caused the hospital to explode, the airplane crash. Oh, by the way, next week a tunnel is collapsing again in Seattle, and no one's gonna finally fucking die. The the cool episode with April where the other fucking tunnel collapsed, and April's like, "We gotta bring the car here," and it's like it's a timer thing, and we gotta save the guy that whatever was happening. Interesting aspects of it. Oh, some dude comes into the ER, and Langdon and I mean Robbie trusts Langdon. He's like, "Doctor, to fuck up, we have to snap your neck in 3 different ways in the hopes that your spine readjusts so you can walk again." That happened, which is great. And Langdon and Whitaker almost fight, and Whitaker has lost his ID badge, and Langdon was taking some Advil, but you know, did Langdon swap Whitaker's badge and get some pills? Like, that seems to be the theme everyone is thinking about. Like, oh, but Langdon went upstairs because he has to take a drug test because that's a part of his requirements to come back into the office or into the ER. Oh, ambulances came, they ran over Robbie's bike, and Dana is having a conversation with Abbott, like, "I'm scared for Robbie, I don't think he's gonna come back," and I don't think Dana knows that 10 months ago, Abbott almost jumped off the roof of the hospital, right? I think only Robbie knows that, and Robbie has this conversation with Duke, and Robbie is like, "The ER is the only purpose I have. I make things work in there, okay? And I need this place to work without me." But what Robbie doesn't seem to get, places move on, okay? Look at Grey's Anatomy. That hospital is a shithole no matter if Meredith is there or not, right? And it seems that Robbie does wanna, like, just commit suicide because it's everything outside the hospital that's having him break down. And Duke kinda realized this, and Duke is like, "I fix bikes, you fix people," right? And Robbie's just having this breakdown, and it's sad, and maybe Robbie does gotta get away from everything for a while. That could be healthy to him. Now, a lot of people still assume next week in our finale, Robbie is gonna fling off a motorcycle, crack his head open, and w that, right? That seems to be the general consensus. I don't think they're gonna do that. Then again, I really feel for Noah Wyle, who is out of the 15 episodes, Noah Wyle is writing 8 of these, he's directing 4 of them. That has to, like, burn him out, okay? And I've asked and I know people who work on the pit, and I was just curious on, like, how, like, their structure works because I work on a show, and we do 22 network episodes, right? And we do August to March 17th. And I was just curious on how, like, the pit works. And they were explaining, like, their thing is they start July and they finish shooting right up until, like, the Christmas hiatus, like, right before the Golden Globes. And the difference is that the pit only does, like, about 1 or 2 weeks on location shooting, the exterior shots of Pittsburgh Hospital and all that shit, but the rest of it's on a soundstage in LA. And which is kinda why this idea of doing this night shift show and all that is just not possible because for 8, 9 months, the pit is shooting, right? There's no second soundstage of this hospital, right? They can't have these shows operating concurrently at all. There's just no fundamental way to do a spin-off show of how, like, the pit works. And I was, like, interested on, like, the people work on it, and they're like, "Yo, the pit is a no phone set," which is smart. Everyone can have books, and by the way, everybody has, like, jobs to do, even, like, their extras. Like, they all have, like, key things, like, "You're here for this and that," and I think it kinda works that way because they know that they're, what's it called? What they're doing for 7 months, right? Like, "You're here from July to December, this is what you're doing, you gotta behave," and to have a steady gig like that in Hollywood is fucking impressive. So you gotta give respect to, like, how they're operating this machine. He's basically turning it into, like, a Law& and Order of the West Coast, right? Because Law& and Order is probably the only other well-oiled machine show. Remember, this like, we're at the same point where Mariska is, like, directing, like, 5 of the episodes. She's writing, like, 10 of the 17 episodes and shit like that. And remember, she's number 1 on the call sheet, very similar to Noah Wyle. And, what SVU's done for, like, sexual assault victims and The Pit has done for that. And I gotta say that The Pit episode with the sexual, um, assault victim episode, I forgot what I wanna Google what the nurse, uh, acronym, what is it called? Is it called SAFE? What the fuck is the thing called? Whatever. But they do it, and it's a very, like, deep thing in a way where, like, SVU has always made us assume, and this is the issue with 20 years of SVU, is, we just assumed, okay, they take the day after pill, and they get some antibiotic shots and DNA swabs in the vagina and the mouth, and that's it. But the pit does this full hour thing of how it works and how emotional tolling is, how we can pause thing called, and I thought it was probably one of the best episodes of Pitt. I think, like, everyone's earning their Emmy nominations this season, okay? Robbie with his mental breakdown. Oh, and then it comes the Dr. Hamashimi part, is that she brings Robbie over, "I need you to read this." And it seems Dr. Hashimi, she's having nerve brain damage, right? And it's just really, oh, yeah, it was called SANE, Sexual Assault Nurse Examiner. And that, like, how that person has to stay with him the entire time. My bad. I know. It's just I really enjoyed this season, The Pit. It's different than the first season, and maybe, the mass shooting part of the first season, that those 4 hours, those 4 episodes were, like, high pressure. It felt like a 24 episode. This has been different, but better, I guess. Like, oh, also, yeah, Robbie tells, what the fuck is her name? The one who's not coming back, who's, like who has mommy issues. Trying to remember, fucking not Yolanda, oh, Mohan, right? That, maybe Oscar shoulda, jumped a little higher, and then he wouldn't have all these medical bills. Robbie's really fucked up, but that's the medical diagnosis, and we know Mohan's not coming back, and it's interesting now with the Pit as the Pit goes on. We know that season 3, we're gonna time jump again, and it's probably gonna be not the holidays, they don't wanna keep doing holidays, but probably it's gonna be winter, so it could be January 27. Not when the show comes back January 27, I mean, like, it could be winter, like, January, February 27, or, like, the Christmas week of 26 or whatever situation like this, and what they could end up doing with this, like, if Robbie gonna be in a coma or, like, in physical therapy from falling off a bike? If that happens, will fucking Dr. Alashimi be back? Like, who is safe on this show to be here forever, right? Because it seems like in terms of untouchable, like, if we're gonna use like, Meredith isn't even on Grey's Anatomy anymore, so but, like, Robbie and Dana, I guess, are 2 untouchables. Because eventually, this just shows 5 or 6 seasons, right? Does Santos stay? Does Whitaker stay? And because it seems we're getting new people. I like Joy. Joy seems to be very, what's it called? The Christina Yang addition to Grace, and I think it's great. I don't give a shit about Evil Whitaker, Ogilvy. I like Yolanda, who's kinda like their Turk slash Derek Shepherd, and I hope Abbott stays a bit, but this is the other thing is, he does movies, he was on fucking Chicago PD, all of it, but yeah.